Alright, today I'm going to give you guys a detailed look at this Jetfire figure from Threezero, and it's a very impressive looking figure, but there are a lot of annoyance to this figure as well. Mainly a lot of panels. You remember how you in the film there's a lot of parts that are falling off of him, and this one does as well. It's just a matter of where you touch him, parts gonna fall off. So you gotta be really gentle with it, and you gotta know where to put your hands on him in order to move those joints. Otherwise, parts are gonna fall off. And so here it's a couple of views to show you guys side views and back views of this figure. It is very impressive. I am very impressed by this figure. Just look at the detailing on this figure. It's out of this world. It's a couple of notches above other figures that I've seen, because there's just so much going on with this guy. And in the film, in the film he looks like a mess, and figure wise he looks exactly the same too. So here, just a top view of him, and and you can see there's a lot of stuff going on. A closer look at the feet right now, and there are dry brushing throughout this figure. It shows wear and tear on him. It looks fantastic. Everything's painted. Very impressed, and I'm very impressed with this piece. And he does have a cane, just like in the film as well. And here's a closer look at the head sculpt and the beard and the whiskers and all that good stuff, and top of his head. Those panels do move, but it is very limited as far as range of motion. And insignia and the wings, and just a all-out fantastic looking piece. And this thing is gonna set you back quite a bit, though. It's gonna set you back $300. But I think it's worth the price, because of how much you get out of this figure. Not even counting the fact that it could combine with Optimus Prime. It's just, if you look at Jetfire himself, he looks very impressive. Here's a top view of him, and you can see he is hunched over. And there are only a few red panels on this piece here. It's just the butt and the sides. There are a bit of red. That's because they do combine with Optimus Prime. That's the reason why those panels are red, I think. And then there are blue panels as well, just a few, and those are because they combine with Optimus Prime as well. So let's move him a little bit, show you guys articulation. Head movement, there is quite a bit. He can look up, but very little bit, and he can definitely look down, so that's good. So if you have a I guess you could probably use Human Alliance figures. They should fit in with this guy quite a oh no, actually he won't fit in with it, because if you look at the cockpit, it's very small. And the shoulder, those shoulder pads does get in the way because they don't really move, but the arms itself, it has the shoulder joint where it could lower the arm. You just saw how far it could lower the arm, and so you can give him a lot of range of motions as far as the arms is concerned. And you can see both hands on the cane. So I am, and one thing to note is that the legs, they do move. The hips, not so much. I am a little concerned of how stiff they are with the hips, but the knees and the ankles are quite good, and you can hear the knees are at a ratcheting joint, and same with that second joint there. The both are ratcheting joints, so it gives you stability with this piece here quite a bit. And then the feet does pivot left and right, so he can stand properly if you want him to. And he is very stable. You don't really need to you don't really need to use the base either, because with the cane, he's a three-legged creature now, so he is gonna be very stable if you have him on the shelf. But I mean, if you're gonna have him on the shelf for a long time, I would suggest giving him the base just to be on the safe side. But from the looks of this, you can see he doesn't need it. It's very stable, and even if I rotate him, he's not gonna fall over. So here's a good look at him, a rotation. And, the cane is pegged into his hand there, so it stays put, so that's good. And here's a look at the base itself. Nothing spectacular, it's just your average base. And here's a closer look at the head sculpt. And I don't have batteries, so I couldn't show you guys what it looks like when it's all lit up with the eyes. But yeah, a really good looking Jetfire. Alright, as far as the torso, it does move, but yeah, right there you can see he has a really good range as far as the torso is concerned, and you can see how high up you could push him. But if you push him too far up, his cane won't reach the ground, because because the wrist articulation has a limit to how far I can rotate, so its cane won't be able to reach the ground when you have him too high up. And right now you can see the cane is barely touching the ground because he is fully extended with the torso and also the legs. And he stands about 14.5 inches in height if he's hunched over. No, and he's fully extended. He is 14.5 inches in height, and you can see this is how tall he is when he's fully extended. And one last look before I transform him to give him parts to before I give him all the parts. Before I give all the parts to Optimus Prime. That's what I meant to say. And one last look when he's fully erect. And here he is with Jetfire parts, and look at how impressive this is. I am in love with this piece here, but it is a pain in the butt to put them together. There are just so many pieces, it's very overwhelming. You gotta definitely look at the instruction when you're trying to put them together, because it is very intimidating as far as how to put them together. There are parts you need to remove from Optimus Prime, of course, and there are definitely plenty of parts you need to remove from Jetfire in order to create this monstrosity here. There were a few times where I got frustrated because the instruction wasn't too clear as to how some of the pieces are supposed to go, but in the end I was able to figure it out and put them together. Yeah, but as far as pieces is concerned, there are some where does tend to fall off if you touch it. Oh, and there's a piece on mine that's an error, so I will need to contact Threezero to get a replacement piece. It's mainly the crotch section where that gold pieces. They're exactly the same. Should be one left and one right, but instead I got both left, I think. But yeah, good look at Optimus Prime in Jetfire mode. And the feet are fully planted. He's very stable. He is a bit back heavy, but he's once you situate him in a certain pose, he shouldn't fall over. But again, if you plan on displaying him, I would of course give him the base just to be on the safe side. But yeah, he is very impressive even from the back. See, there's a lot of stuff going on here. There's a lot to look at, actually. And just look at that. That is straight out of the movie. I didn't freeze frame it from the movie and then look at it side by side to see if there are any differences, but it looks absolutely gorgeous to me, so I'm okay with that. And then as far as articulation, you can see there's not a whole lot you could do. Right here you can see the arms, you can't move anymore because it is hindered by those two pieces, those shoulder pieces. And then as far as the jet engine is concerned, back there it can rotate a little bit, up and down just a little bit, and then you can rotate it in and out or forward and back a little bit, depends on how you like him, how you want to display him. And arms, not too much. Legs, I wouldn't even attempt because they're just torso, you can move left and right, but pieces will fall off if you aren't careful, like those two pieces right here in the center. Those are magnets, so be careful with those. They do tend to fall off quite easily. And then as far as the hips is concerned, I wouldn't even mess with it because there's just no way of really getting a good grip of him. But yeah, you're gonna see pieces gonna start coming off if you aren't. It's just really hard to manipulate him with all the pieces on. And there are a lot of sharp pieces too, so it's just hard to articulate him. And here, these panels, I mean, there's not a whole lot to say about those. I mean, they extend down, and that's it. So just expanding him even more, a little bit even more. And then the wing flaps back here. That's about, yeah, that's about it. And and there is from the back. And another look at him from the front. It's a very impressive piece, I have to say. I am very happy to have this in my collection. But finding a place for it is gonna be tough because it does take up a lot of room, and yeah, and you gotta be super careful with it. So most likely, I think with most collectors, he's just gonna stand there just like that. And here's a comparison with the Stormtrooper. You kind of get an idea how tall he is. So there you have it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I know it's different. It's just a commentary type style instead of doing it while I'm moving the figure. So hopefully you guys do enjoy this video. And yeah, overall, I am impressed with this figure. Definitely happy to have this in my collection. But it is a troublesome figure. And you're gonna have a lot of patience with it in order to transform him from Jetfire to and move all the pieces to Optimus Prime. I forgot his name. There's a name for it. Is this Jet Power Optimus Prime or something, whatever it is. But yeah, So there you go. There's the Threezero Jetfire from Jetfire Threezero. Thanks for watching.